Look, we got less than a minute to go before today's message, but I always like to come on early. And what I've decided to do is, depending on the day of the week, I come on a specific amount of time early. So I'm trying to check it out to see, coming on a minute and a half early on Fridays, okay? And then on Wednesdays, I probably come on 2 minutes early. And then on Monday, it's a straight broadcast video repeat. So that's the schedule. I say it to you, but I say it to remind myself. But yeah, we've got less than a minute to go for today's meeting message. Oh man, yeah, I got to get it together here, right? My goodness, but yeah, and I'm doing things a little differently, as some of you know. This will be my first time I'm going to be broadcasting live on LinkedIn. Also, I should say hello, Facebook and YouTube, because I broadcasted live on LinkedIn and then posted it to the other mediums. All right. So yeah, so definitely goodness to you, because I definitely don't know when you're watching it on one of those mediums. But here we go. It's 11 o'clock Eastern here in our land, and let's get moving. And moving on with Gift Friday. Okay, I call it Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear people say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to the person who took their last breath on Thursday? Or any day before that, for that matter. So I use what I learned through Psalm 92:2. And that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. And that allows us to realize that instead of using TGIF, I use TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Thus, I get to add the lesson from Matthew 6:34. So don't worry about tomorrow, but tomorrow will bring its own worries. Thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. Thank God it's today. Yes, the darkness always precedes the light. And I offer, therefore, another use of TGI. Let's do some addition and subtraction. Nope, let's do some subtraction and addition. Let's subtract the T from the beginning of TGIF. And, I'm sorry, we're going to do some subtraction and addition on the next slide. On this one, we're going to look at another use of the word, of the acronym TGIF, and that makes it trusting God is free. Trusting God is free. Think of it. What does it cost you to receive the greatest gift of every day? The gift of waking up. That doesn't cost you a dime. And you know, you do the bravest thing you can do every night, and you might even do it during the day, but that is to lay your head down and go to sleep. But that's trusting God that you're going to wake up again. But if you don't, then that's the Lord's Prayer. Thy will be done. So trusting God is free. Now let's do the subtraction and the addition. Let's subtract the T from the front of TGIF and move it to the end. And add it to the end. And then we see what we get is not TGIF, but GIFT. Gift. God is for today. Gift Friday. Gift Friday is the online sharing of one of my poetic inspirational messages that you can share with audiences online or in person or in your spirit to uplift you and keep you going. With this broadcast, I'll share one of my original poetic messages so that you can use it to start a conversation that could change someone else's life, including yours, for the better. Each poem is then my gift to you, and I'll drop it in the thread on LinkedIn or on Facebook so that you can download and keep your own colorful keepsake copy. Today, I've chosen a poem from my book, I Found Out I'm Living, an affirmation of life. It's a storyline in poetry about affirming this gift called life. My original book, it's the sequel to my original book, I Found Out I'm Dying, a celebration of life. Well, that's about giving up the physical self, and now I Found Out I'm Living, an affirmation of life. That's really accepting the spiritual side of life, which is the real gift as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to share with you, first I want you to think of, I think of a saying that says, Oh, how things have changed, yet remain the same. As I wrote this poem actually in 1998, and I see it ringing through social media and broadcast media every day here in 2024, especially in this political season. So the poem I've chosen is called Cloudy Days. And I invite you to hear how it also calls for us to shift our perspective by creatively opening up our imagination to see things differently. Cloudy Days. Today I watched the majesty of the clouds move as they rested in pantomime against the blue ceiling. At least I think it was blue. See, blue is what I saw. And in life, sometimes all we see are colors instead of how well they work together. How brown will stand still for green to grow. Green invites yellow, even burnt orange or red. Then red returns the favor by pulling out all the stops to go through yellow and become one with green. But I know what you're thinking. What about gray? Because sometimes it's the master of our day. Well, not really. We just let it feel that way. Where we lose focus and allow the condescending haze of doubt to conjure up colorless shades of ignorance that flash around us and rape our imagination of its luster. Without a doubt, gray does this by choice. Yet it also invites us to recognize it as the midpoint between two extremes, black and white. Reminds us that there can be the perfect blend of sharing if we're willing to keep the scale from losing its balance. Today, I watched the majesty of the clouds move as they rested in pantomime against the blue ceiling. And I was reminded that in life, sometimes all we see are colors instead of how well they work together. Cloudy days. Ladies and gentlemen, shift your perspective by creatively opening up your imagination to see things differently. Now, you've heard me say before, control your vocabulary rather than allowing your vocabulary to control you. So let's immediately look at the title of this poem and see how we hear cloudy days as D-A-Y-S. When we first hear it, if we're not looking at it, cloudy days. And imagine that over time, we can lose focus based on who our messenger is. Here's Google's definition of daze. As a verb, it's make someone unable to think or react properly, to stupefy them or bewilder them. She was dazed by his revelation. As a noun, it's a state of stunned confusion or bewilderment. He was walking around in a daze. I'm going to put them together as a sentence. He was walking around in a daze, and she was dazed by his revelations. Or, if you prefer, she was dazed by his revelations, yet he was walking around in a daze. You see, neither way resolves the challenge we face when we choose to keep a closed mind about our situation, discussion about racial tension and social injustice, and political races, R-A-C-E-S, presidential races. It's a people problem that will touch each of us in more ways than it already had. With this next touch, you get to share its next touch. How are you doing? Are you willing to recite the closing stanza, and can you live up to it? Here it is. Today, I watched the majesty of the clouds move as they rested in pantomime against the blue ceiling. And I was reminded that in life, sometimes all we see are colors instead of how well they work together. If you'd like a copy of the poem, you'll find it in the thread on LinkedIn or YouTube. I'm sorry, in LinkedIn or Facebook. And if you'd like a copy of the book, just email me. Email me your request at sporty@sportyking.com. I'm Sporty King. I wish you a happy Gift Friday and then weekend. Be safe and remember that God is for today. And not only do I ask you to remember to exercise your right to vote, I ask you to vote for Kamala Harris for president. God bless you. Stay safe.